Today, on Starfield Essentials, I review the Faction Story Expansion Ecliptic creation and a mod that replaces the shiny Ecliptic suit with something more tactical. My name is Richard. Let's get started. Faction Story Expansion Ecliptic. This creation from Nell Drakebane is available for 200 credits on Creations. I've previously bought and played similar quest mods by this creator, such as their Trackers Alliance, Crimson Fleet, and House Varun creations. If you have any of those or watched my videos, this Ecliptic creation will seem very familiar. You start by visiting an Ecliptic outpost on the PUP called Freeport Cargos. Similar to other story expansion creations, this is an outpost where you can interact with a faction in a peaceful manner. There are a few elements of this location common to the others in the story expansion series. There's a ship technician who sells vessels aligned with the faction. The ship technician also sells so-called refurbished ships, which are modified versions of the original vessels. These are usually pretty cool. Inside the outpost, you'll find extremely overpowered crew for hire. For example, here's an outpost management specialist who has 1 star in animatronic fusion, 3 stars in outpost management and outpost organics, 1 in outpost engineering, and also 2 in outpost engineering. That's weird. You'll also find a full legendary Ecliptic suit. It's odd that the resale value is so low. I think this might be an error. Beyond the first outpost building, there's always some cool inner POI with at least 1 more crew member for hire. Here's another one. This is a ship system specialist, again overpowered. If you return outside, you'll also find another landing pad with a ship that's waiting, which is always cool. But to see what to do next, we have to get back to the main building. Near the bar in the first building, you'll see a desk, and on top of the desk is a box. And in the box, you will find a slate pointing you to the next quest location. In this case, the next stop was Mufrid 8C. Now that the quest was active, I ended up in the Mufrid system. Mufrid, whatever it is. And around Mufrid 8C, I found myself in a battle with Ecliptic ships in orbit. Because the UC SysDef was also there, it might have been a random encounter. I landed and began exploring the Gang's Aurora Refinery. This POI was populated by Neon Gang enemies. Because my character was alone, I used the NPC Spawner Danger Zone mod to add a squad of UC Marines to the mix for help with combat. While clearing the exterior POI, my gameplay seemed jittery and my FPS was in the 50s at some points. This is about 30% lower than normal, or really half of what I get in some places. So I think this location is rough on gameplay. Maybe it's not optimized, maybe there's just too much going on, who knows. To gain access to the inner POI, I had to find the doors to the location and then look across the way to find a building with a door switch. This is the same mechanism used in all of the POIs in this creation, whether outside or inside. So for example, here is the interior POI, and I'm clearing out some more Neon Gang members and turrets and all kinds of stuff. And across the way you can see those red doors, and here's the switch that opens the red doors. This is how I'm able to, oh, lots of activity here. Lots of combat. UC Marines fighting all these Neon Gang members. I was able to pick up some cool looking streetwear, so I wore that for the rest of the video. Oh, and that yellow effect, that's caused by a plasma mod that I use. But anyways, there's my character running around in his sweet neon striker wear. Completing this part of the quest required finding another slate at the end of the facility. This one directed me to Eridani 8B. In addition to the slate and regular loot, there was another full legendary spacesuit at the end. This pattern will be familiar now. On Eridani 8B, I landed at the Old Weapon Depot. I found another set of exterior and interior POIs. These were staffed by a new NPC called Deserters, who had left the UC Marines. After dealing with them, both outside and inside, I found a slate pointing me to Arachna in the Delta Pavonis system. There was more loot and another full legendary spacesuit. On Arachna, I found my last set of exterior and interior POIs. These were staffed by veterans of the First, one of my favorite factions. By this point, I was a little tired of the repetition, so I just boost-backed my way to the switch opening the necessary doors, both outside and inside, and raced to the final slate at the end of the interior facility. The final slate told me that that was the end of the creation. It was cool to find an extreme temperature entry spacesuit though. I hadn't really seen that much in the regular game. And that was it. Next, Operator Skins Set Ecliptic. Before I conclude, let me introduce a free mod that I thought would pair well with this Ecliptic story expansion. Operator Skins Set Ecliptic by PhellipeV is available free on Creations and Nexus Mods. Note that I specifically added the Helper mod, which replaces suits worn by Ecliptic in the wild. That feature is enabled by a separate creation called Operator Skins Ecliptic Replacer. On Nexus Mods, just download the file shown here from the main front page. I thought this mod would work well with the Ecliptic story expansion, but as you saw, there were no Ecliptic to be found after visiting the first base on the pup. Muffred 8C had Neon gang members, Eridani 8B had UC Marine deserters, and Arachna had the first veterans. To get a sense of what real Ecliptic looked like in these new skins, I headed to Vulture's Roost on Jaffa 4. There I found plenty of Ecliptic and eventually looted a full superior set of the new Ecliptic armor, renamed as Contractor Armor here. If you visit a place like the Red Mile and expect to see the new Ecliptic armor here, it will not happen. I asked the modder about this, and they said that only newly spawned NPCs will appear wearing the replacement skins. I think the new suit looks pretty cool, and I only played with one variant. As you can see, there are 6 variants. There are also options for clear visors and insignia. Let me know which one of these is your favorite and if you're going to try it. I assume you just apply the new skins to your Ecliptic armor at the appropriate workbench. Conclusion. Turning back to the Ecliptic faction story, I'm puzzled that I didn't encounter any Ecliptic beyond the peaceful dudes at the pup outpost. I guess there were some Ecliptic in orbit, but I don't even know if that was part of the mod. While I do enjoy the POI design and enemies at the 3 locations, they were very similar to those found in other mods by the same creator. I would only consider this if you haven't purchased other creations in this series. There's not much point adding the Ecliptic suit replacement if you want to see it in action in the story expansion. By itself though, the new Ecliptic skins are really cool. I like the look better than the default shiny silver armor scheme. Thank you Nell Drakebane and PhellipeV for your work. And thank you to all my subscribers. Please consider subscribing to show YouTube that you enjoy positive and honest Starfield content. In addition to videos, I also post to the community tab for this channel on a daily basis. If you subscribe, you'll see these posts in your YouTube feed. Special thanks to all channel members. I hope you're enjoying our private Discord server, early access to these videos, and members-only live streams. If you'd like to know more about membership, click the join button on the channel. I use your contributions to pay for drives for capturing footage, to buy creations to review, and to pay the monthly fee for StreamYard, which I use for live streams. If you made it to this part of the video, please leave a comment with the word shiny. Check out my other videos, and please tell your friends about the channel. My name is Richard. I will see you in the Starfield.